ongoing in the face of it all is a beautiful and inspiring thing. So as hard as this week may have been for us, it has been nothing in comparison to what the Palestinian people are going through right now. And that is where the attention should be. That is where the focus should be. That is where these politicians and media outlets should be focusing their attention right now. Not on the words or the actions of a fucking punk band. It is ridiculous. And it only speaks to the ridiculous state of this country right now.
He's being rendered! He's being rendered!
People, it is Socialist Sunday. Happy Socialist Sunday to you this evening. Welcome to the Sunday live stream. On my left eye, I'm your host Lefty. A warm welcome to everybody. Solidarity. More on Bob Villan later. Did put out a video a short time before I came to you live on stream. Concerning Bob Villan's response to mainstream media. I'm going to be looking at that, plus a bit more. That clip there was taken from a recent gig at the 100 Club. Well, have another look at that later, plus what he said in this comeback. Lots more as well. But how are you doing, people? Let me know how you are as we get towards the end of the week. First in the chat and crowning themselves number one in the top fans rankings. Chris, great to see you. Emma Richardson as well. Graham Turner, Doc Davies. Solidarity everybody. Floor Steak, thanks for the watermelons. I can see some Palestine flags there from Graham Turner as well. Edward Sexby is joining us also. Wonderful to see you. And MIDI doctors, we've got two doctors in the house. You're getting your diagnoses in stereo this evening, people. I'm sure the diagnosis is too much neoliberalism, as always, and the remedy is what we're here to discuss this evening. Elwido, good evening to you. Yeah, brilliant to see the chat filling up nicely. And I can see plenty of members in the chat. Here's a shout out to all of the members, whether you're just joining us live or if you're watching back later on. Appreciate the support on the channel. These great people whose names you can see help to support and sustain what we're doing here, so thank you very much for that. And Edward Sexby has some excellent advice as well. Another way that you can help to support the channel is with a thumbs up on this stream. Other ways include sharing content or this stream around your social media platforms, whichever you're on. You can join this list of marvellous members as well for just 99p. Check out the perks. You'll get some early viewings, you'll get some exclusive content. There's a library there already for you to go through. I'll be adding to that in short time as well. With the MyJSO story continuing, as well as other features upcoming. Thank you very much, everybody. Currently on 110. Don't know if anyone was counting along there. That's fantastic. We broke the 100 barrier and we've stayed above it for a while now. Thank you very much, everybody, for renewing your memberships. So I'll bring new people in the chat on the screen now. There we go. Alright, great to see you all. Getting into the fondue lounge just shortly. But I also need to introduce the Sunday Livestream resident house band, that is Herbie Ranger and the Supersonics. Thank you, Herbie, for the background jazz. Plenty to talk about. Let's see how those top fan rankings are doing. Graham's jumped to number 1 evidently, but there are 5 of you on 75 XP at the moment. For anybody keeping score. I've still not read into how it works. It could be some annual contest or something that I'm not aware of. I don't know. Could be anything. Jojo, great to see you. And Mithril is with us also. Wonderful to see you all as always. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, Mithril. Hope you've been well. Strong as dragon scales, I'm sure. America the Madhouse, yeah, that will be coming up. Got a bit on Trump, so oh, it never ends. It never ends. Well, to the extent, the last video I put out there earlier, I think I'd narrowed it down to a choice of 3 stories that I was going to do it about. I just decided on that. Check it out though, give it a like and a share and a comment. Which I know you will, because you're all those people here. So thank you, Herbie. We're going to go over to the lounge now and see what we're going to be fonduing throughout the live stream. Fondue. Philistines. Right, into the lounge we go. It's your favourite YouTube earworm people, you know it, and I know it. Okay, so what are we fond doing on the live stream? Keith's going to be the first story that we're getting into. I'll be mentioning recent arrests at demonstrations in support of PAL action later, but that's not the only thing that's crushing our rights, that's eroding our given right to free speech and assembly. Apparently Keir Starmer wants to get rid of trial by jury as well. That'll be the first story I'll be going into. Delightfully upbeat and positive news. More on the latest polling for Labour as well. This might cheer you up a bit though. West Streeting be doomed, by the very looks of it. Let's have a look at that. What else is coming up from Labour? Just a quick look through my bookmarks and stuff here. Oh, there've been some new pledges as well, that was it. New pledges. I guess this kind of concerns the climate. So there's going to be more of a push for electric vehicles, apparently. I'll be looking at that story. The latest from Gaza, as well as those protests, as I mentioned. A few people, probably quite a few people who I know were down there actually, both in Manchester and London. In case you haven't heard, yeah, some of them took place not very far from where this live stream's coming to you from this evening, so a bit disappointed about the police response from the respective Met police divisions. Tisk tisk. More about that, and of course this latest horrendous attack by Israel at a water distribution centre, which they're claiming was just an accident. Oh dear. Butterfingers. They're all thumbs. That's the way it's being reported. In the, oh well, never mind, let's carry on fashion. So, a bit more about that. What a time to be alive on these dystopian isles, people. Quite a packed show this evening, actually. I've also, we've got the latest on Trump and this Epstein files thing, which is getting, you know, the game's up. It's getting increasingly, you could say, hilariously desperate, although where Trump's concerned, it's not straight humour. Obviously we're talking about some seriously grotesque crimes. So a little bit about that, and I've got some, one of the comedy clips I've got coming up as well is actually a great AI that someone's put together of Trump concerning that story. Plus lots more. And who knows what tangents we might find ourselves led away on this Sunday evening. So as always, keep sharing your thoughts with me in the chat. If you've got anything that needs my urgent and immediate attention, people, you can use the medium of super chats, which are open now to get my attention. Or if you're watching back later on, message with super thanks. Helps to support the channel as well. Politics Clive, great to see you. Oh, and just one other quick mention in case you've not been with me on recent live streams or whatever. Just concerning the fact that Tony Blair's in the shot there. Of course, it was revealed recently that he was behind this Gaza Riviera concept and the terrible video that Trump put out of the his vision of Gaza, which unfortunately anyone who was subjected to that will not be able to unsee. Just wanted to remind you of that. Okay, we'll be finishing off our fondue now. It's just a quick gate crashing visit because I'll be honest, it's starting to hum in the lounge, and I'm not saying that Margaret Hodge is wholly responsible, but I sort of am saying that Margaret Hodge might be wholly responsible. Does she eat anything else? Oh God, Margaret. Disgusting. Don't try blaming the dog, Margaret. No, it's not the dog. We can tell it's not the dog. Someone better put out that fire soon, because it's getting really bad. Okay, we all... Well, I've had my fill on. Certainly. My appetite's been put off by this foul stench, so we'll just leave it there for now. I might drop back before the end of the stream. See you in a bit, Keith. Off we go. And, Herbie, thank you very much, fellas. It's a hot evening in the lounge as well, the fondue lounge. That's only going to get increasingly worse, I fear. They've got all the windows open there. Not much ventilation in the fondue lounge. And an open fire probably doesn't help when you add that to the equation as well. But that's just Keith logic for you. Keith, it's 30 degrees in here and you've got hot fondue on the menu. I hear what you're saying, Margaret. I'll get the fire started immediately and create a nice warm atmosphere. So, yeah. We'll proceed with caution if we go back into the lounge later this evening. I keep things light with this one. Just a quick comedy bit before we go into stories and clips and all of that stuff. Got the latest from Broken News, so check this one out if you've not seen it already.
Welcome to Broken News. Panic and terror is spreading across the UK as millions of parents are gearing up to wonder what in shitting crikey they're expected to do for 6 whole weeks. You could say there's panic on the streets of London, panic on the streets of Birmingham. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Our reporter has more.
Well, despite the precise starting date for the summer holidays being known a good year in advance, once again, parents have been expressing shock at how quickly it's come around. Yes, it's that time of year. The weather forecast for August has turned to dog shit, campsites have upped their prices 4,000,000%, and for 50 quid a pop, a guy called Pedo Steve is letting 20 kids play with a tennis ball behind an abandoned QuickFit between 10 AM and 4 PM and calling it PE camp. Now, yes, 1 second, darling. Yeah, I'll be with you in a minute, I promise. Not too long. Well, many mums and dads appear to be flabbergasted by children going from one school year to the next, with one saying to me, can you believe they're going to be in year 4? Which I could believe because they have just been in year 3. Just give me a moment, darling. Yeah? I promise I'll just be a minute. Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you, sweetheart. Yeah. Some parents are lucky, of course. They'll be handing off their little cherubs to the grandparents for 5 of the 6 weeks, then having a nice 5 days in Centre Parks in August because presumably they're millionaires or something. Look, yes, my darling, I will be. Just one moment. Okay, we'll go for an ice cream afterwards, I promise you, okay? Yeah? Can you just give it, because I have to work? Okay, thank you, darling. Of course, thankfully, employers are really, really considerate at this time of year, and parents can rely on some Instagram twat to remind them to take time for self-care and for... Yes, okay, darling, please. Yeah, Daddy's got to... I know, yeah, it's a camera. That's a camera, that's a tripod. Yeah? Yeah, okay, I know, darling, just give me... We'll go and ice cream in a minute, okay? Okay, thank you, darling. Thank you, sweetheart. Well, one panicked mum told us, there are only so many meaningless visits to little farms I can do, and I'll still never know the difference between a llama and an alpaca. And please, God, don't make me go to the play park. The kids always want ice creams, and the ice cream van there is selling just 2 ice creams with 2 chewing gums in it for bloody £9 for 2 of them. That is going to get nowhere. One that comes up my street, I want £1, a P or £2. That is going to get nowhere with that. And he only does bloody card. Stood there with my cash. Bloody hell, bloody well bad. Yeah, bet he can hear me. Well, earlier today I spoke to a representative of a campaign group calling for shorter school holidays.
Yeah, it's a really difficult time for many parents at the moment.
How can parents cope?
Well, there are several ways they can... Yeah, darling? Yeah, just working at the moment. Okay, all right, chap. Sorry, there are several things you can do. Perhaps club together and a parent... Yeah, okay, darling, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
It's great. I'll be with you in a second.
Yeah, I just need to speak to the nice man.
Take advantage of any special offers that are going on. Yes, I can see what you're doing. It's a big rocket.
Use your listening ears.
And I'm sorry, I've totally forgotten what I was saying.
Well, any other tips that you have from the...
Yes, okay. I see it.
No, darling, not on the trousers.
Sorry for raising my voice. Daddy, sorry for raising my voice.
Please let the man talk.
Daddy's working. He's just said he's working. I'm working at the moment. Daddy, sorry for raising his voice. Sorry.
Well, as you can see from that conversation, it can be quite difficult to find a way through this... Can you just fucking fuck off for a minute? For a minute? Huh?
God.
Back to you.
Thank you. What a lovely stop. Yeah, okay, darling. Within a second. Daddy's working. Sorry. Daddy's working. Oh, wow, that is big. Yeah. What a lovely story. That's all from Broken News. You're up to date.
The Broken News there. Yeah. Check out Larry and Paul. I'm sure you know them all already. Jonathan Swift is with us. Is that the late author? Gulliver's Travels. With a comment about condoms. Well, of all the things that were going to happen on tonight's live stream, I certainly wasn't expecting that. But a good evening to you. Yeah, about the kids on the school holidays. I assume that's what you're referring to. Into the first story of the evening. This is from the Canary. I highly recommend to anybody who doesn't follow these independent journalists. We'll be talking more about rights, protest rights and freedom to assembly later on. This is something else, unfortunately. You can add this to the pile that I think needs bringing to our attention. So we've had trial by jury in this country for the last 900 years. But Keith wants to do away with all that. Let's see what's happening. Just skim through this one. So it says Keir Starmer's continuing with austerity and failing to issue enough funds to maintain the justice system in the UK. Instead, Justice Secretary Shabana Mahmood commissioned a report from Brian Leveson that has resulted in the former judge recommending an end to the right to trial by jury. Form to the right to trial by jury dates back to the 12th century, and the 1215 Magna Carta stated that no man should be imprisoned, quote, except by the lawful judgment of his peers, or, quote, by the law of the land. Now, Mr. Former Director of Public Prosecutions, tearing up the Magna Carta. Perhaps even I wouldn't have expected this. Just over a year now into Starmer's Britain. Unbelievable. So under the recommendations, the right to fair trial would be removed for serious crimes such as child abduction, among others. Also, trial by judge alone would be implemented for serious and complex fraud cases. The previous Conservative government cut the Justice Department's budget by 25% between 2010 and 2020, while Starmer has increased funding by around 30%. He hasn't patched up a decade of cuts and is overall failing to introduce enough funds to fix the legal system. Sorry, regular viewers will know that I have something of a condition now concerning that the word that can't hurt me and postman twat is not real. Indeed, funding is still 24% lower per person than in 2008. Through public ownership of utilities, bills for energy, water, broadband, rail and mail, etc. would go to the public purse, rebalancing the economy in favour of struggling departments like justice. We don't have the money for justice, people. I'm sorry, this is another difficult decision that's being made. There are going to be miscarriages of justice, especially for black minority ethnic people, BME communities. Matt Foot, the co-director of the charity appeal, pointed out. Quite a lot of quotes against this already, including Tyrone Steele, Deputy Legal Editor at Justice, Barbara Mills, King's Counsel and Chair of the Bar Council, said changing the fundamental structure of changing the fundamental structure of introducing criminal justice is not a principled response to a crisis which was not caused by that structure in the first place. As Brian recognises, it's the failure to invest properly in the justice system over decades that has led to the crisis we see in the criminal courts today. Juries represent society and are a fundamental part of our system. So, I mean, as draconian as that is in itself, it's also strongly suggestive, or it suggests to me at least, that we're going along a dark path of the distance between the executive and the judiciary, the gap being shortened somewhat. For example, recently a government might have said, well, you're going to prescribe this group now and reject any appeal, and they said yes, and there was no proper trial by jury. And what's going to be next? Kangaroo courts? How far is this going to go? So, as you know, I've found myself in court on multiple occasions. I've had acquittals, I've had convictions as well. Actually, quite bizarrely, I can't believe it either, I've never been subjected to a trial by jury. Personally, I know a considerable amount of people who have, of course. And even more upcoming now, apparently, after what happened yesterday with the Defend Our Juries action, which I'll be going into later. But do share your thoughts with me about that story. The right to trial by jury now being under threat, people. What a time to be alive on these dystopian shores. More like the United Non-Dom, eh? But that's not justice whatsoever, of course. If you want my 2 cents on the matter, just in conclusion, no justice whatsoever.
Damn right!
Thank you, Death. And as for Starmer himself, what can you say? Former Director of Public Prosecutions himself. I'll be sticking with UK matters with the next story. I guess, yeah, this will take us into somewhat of a segue. So we have the British Medical Association strikes coming up. Of course, I discussed that a little on the last live stream. The latest update there is that there are going to be talks between Wes Streeting, Health Secretary, and the BMA to potentially avoid strikes, which were set to go ahead next week. It says resident doctors, previously known as junior doctors, announced earlier this week that they will walk out for 5 consecutive days from the 25th of July until the 30th over a dispute about pay with the government. Just my thoughts summarily, what I said on the last live stream about this. I absolutely 100% believe that doctors and nurses are severely underpaid and have been for some time. These single-digit percentage increases that are on the table, varying amounts, are still an insult as far as I'm concerned. I think you should be looking at the high 20s, low 30s. They certainly deserve that for COVID alone, let alone everything, the battering that they took before and since with the Tories, and now where Streeting's got his fangs into the NHS. But there is some good news. There is perhaps a silver lining to the cloud that is Wes Streeting coming up. So it says resident doctors were awarded an average 5.4% pay rise for this financial year. That's a pittance. That's going into pay packets from August, following a 22% increase over the previous 2 years. Again, you have to consider inflation rates, so on and so forth. When you put these amounts into real terms, they're often far below what they're reported to be. And they're legitimately using the right to unionise and strike if they want to. All we hear from politicians is that they're greedy, they're taking the piss. Absolutely not. The NHS is, so it really is a sacred institution. That's the best way that I can put it. It's absolutely has to be maintained. It has to be fully funded and fully staffed, and it has to give a good incentive for people to work for the NHS and not be in private healthcare, this system that Streeting wants to shift us towards, as does Farage. The US insurance-based system, which is a complete rip-off, puts profit over people, and of course treats people not as patients but as customers, as consumers. And the whole thing's a scam, and people who are legitimately entitled to care are denied it through a series of ulterior, underhanded methods, which I won't go into. But let's just say that there are people out there who are employed just to keep the stock rising and keep care away from those who are entitled to it. That's something we absolutely cannot have in this country. So I, for one, 100% support these strikes. But according to this article, polling from Ipsos reported by The Guardian suggests public support for the industrial action has fallen from 52% to 26% since June last year, when they last went on strike. I'm not too sure about that one. And if so, then you really have to be worried about public opinion. Now, we all have certain rights which we shouldn't be so whimsical to throw away or take for granted, and the right to strike, the right for industrial action is certainly one of those. So that's the latest, but let's take a look at the more positive news. Like I said, there is something to be cheerful about, at least, concerning Health Secretary Wes Streeting. Who is the current Member of Parliament for Ilford North, with Streeting okay, I think that's back now. Sorry about the mic cut out there. Again, that was a phantom cut off. I don't know what happened with that, sorry. I'm not sure where I was up to there. But the poll there speaks for itself. Slight tech problem there, apologies. I think I'll just move on to the next story. Won't repeat myself. But Wes doesn't let the door hit him on the way out. More of that, please. Okay, where to next? Oh yeah, I'll just go over this EV thing very quickly. So this was on Kussenberg. Earlier, as you can see there, Heidi Alexander's guaranteed apparently the electric vehicle costs will be lowered. It says the government will make it cheaper for people to buy electric vehicles, but she couldn't confirm whether it would give grants to encourage motorists to switch when asked by Kussenberg. They say that they're poised to unveil 700 million in subsidies. Instead, she's pointed to a 25 million package that will be allocated to councils to fit cross-pavement gullies to make it easier for people without driveways to charge electric vehicles. The average price of a new electric vehicle is around 22,000. That's double the cost of a typical petrol car, although some Chinese brands are beginning to market their electric cars for as little as 18,000. I'm sure that you can get some second-hand Teslas for pretty cheap at the moment as well. That is the thing though, it's China that are really leading this market at the moment, the electric vehicle market. They're surging ahead of Tesla, which, you know, its true value is massively overpriced. Now it has no more government subsidies. Trump's taken that away. What the real value is actually going to be revealed. So you're going to see these Chinese electric vehicles surge further ahead in terms of the market. So 18,000 is not too reasonable, but again the issue with these is the charge points. The government have really got to get behind mass introduction of charge points as an incentive really, as well as other programs for part exchanging petrol or diesel vehicles for electric. That's the way it's got to be done. The bigger subsidies than what's been proposed there. I mean, those double-digit millions of figures. It's not, you know, this is a large part of the national infrastructure, the municipal planning that needs to be addressed. It's a biggie. It's a biggie when you look at the amount of money that's being poured into HS2, for example, and going to waste 70 million or thereabouts is nothing really. And that HS2 isn't going to come in, what now, until the mid-30s, the mid-2030s. It's so frustrating how this country just can't get it together when it comes to travel. It really is. Whether it's the railways, other forms of public transportation. We're just way behind, so what do you think about that, people? Let me know in the chat. So in the comments if you're watching back later on. In the meantime, people, just a reminder to make sure you've hit thumbs up for the stream. It's still quite swelteringly hot here in the studio. Again, I've had to close the window on account of traffic noise outside. But we're going to get through this. I think we might have another comedy interlude in a moment. Before I get on to Gaza and stuff, which will also incorporate the Defend Our Jury's actions in Manchester and London respectively that took place yesterday, and the arrests and whatnot. So I don't believe I've featured this this channel, this comedy channel, here on My Left Eye before. But I do highly recommend them. I should say, and perhaps I'm obliged to point out, that this sequence that you're about to see was constructed using artificial intelligence. Just in case it isn't clear to anybody, I don't want to get into any fucking shit with this particular platform. But just to be very clear, Mr. Nurburger's AI Funnies is, as the title suggests, using AI in this skit. Everybody got that? Okay. Don't think I could be clearer on that matter. Your Honour. Hedy, thanks a lot for the super chat there. Solidarity. How you doing this evening? Let's give some props. Let's big up Hedy in the chat there, people. As we go into this. It's a good clip, this. So it concerns the missing Epstein files, but done in the guise of Sherlock Holmes, which you'll see is hinted at strongly from the very beginning. So enjoy Mr. Nurburger's AI Funnies.
The moment all of you, and to some degree me, have been waiting for. I will now reveal my discoveries from the Epstein list. Each of you in this room have been named by the press of having some dubious relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Great word, dubious. Not many know it. By the way, I didn't even know Epstein. Not one bit. Like, not even an eensy-weensy bit. But now finally the world will get the answers they've been waiting for. And we can all, especially me, put an end to this unpleasant chapter in our lives. So my discovery is as follows.
Maybe you can move this along a little bit. Couldn't agree more, Bill. Look, if my name is in the same sentence as that man, I'm gonna sue.
This is why I am the television president. I know how to tease. First, I will tell you how I made this discovery. First, I went to Pam Bondi's office for one of my routine check-ins. And she was wrong. The list was no longer on her desk. I mean, it was not on her desk. So I am happy to report, there is no list. Case closed. Finito. It's over. End of story. We didn't find anything and we looked everywhere, even in the couch cushions. My guy J.D. Vance checked there. That's my future wife.
Hey, little lady. That's my 2:30 massage. I am a prince.
This last bit is actually, it's pretty killer, it's pretty sick.
Sherlock Trump solved another one. Now keep burning those documents Pam gave us.
Boss, I don't know how the Atlantic got a hold of this footage because Cash had it scrubbed, but they got the missing minute. You are not going to be happy. Here you are, coming right out of his cell with a rope.
Maybe I had just gone climbing?
Boss, the rope is pretty incriminating.
What, you've never played Clue?
And I think you are eating a McDonald's hamburger.
Maybe all the climbing made me hungry.
I didn't know you knew how to lasso.
Ivanka rode the horses and I spent a lot of time in that barn.
Is that a I killed a guy happy dance?
No, my catheter was clogged, so I was shaking it clear.
I really hate that sad loser, Mr. Newberger.
Very good, very, very good. Mr. Nurburger's AI Funnies. Check them out there. That's the handle at Jeremy Newberger. Trump's not a fan, evidently, as we heard at the end. That last bit was brilliant. Pass the ropes, very incriminating. God. There's more though. Take a look at this "Is this you?" moments from Twitter earlier. Donald Trump back in around it, well, almost a year ago exactly, 2023, 2 years ago exactly, I should say, in July 23, said, "Show us the Epstein client list now. Why would anyone protect those scumbags? Ask yourselves this question daily, and the answer becomes very apparent, and now he's reduced to shouting on Truth Social. Stop talking about Epstein." Of course, Musk has been going on about it. This apparent video has been revealed of Epstein's cell, the CCTV from outside his cell, but there's the now notorious missing minutes, and if you watch the footage actually, also it doesn't include the moment when a supposed cleaner discovered his body in the cell, which is missing. According to the official narrative, of course, that's how the body was discovered. But where's the cleaner? Nowhere to be seen. So of course it's been suggested that Trump himself is on the list, as well as other political and significant figures, as you saw in that send up there, including former presidents, members of the British royal family, and so on and so forth. It's even been suggested, capital letters, allegedly, as well, that senior figures within the Central Intelligence Agency and the FBI could potentially be on this list, which is something that is preventing its release as well. Again, supposedly, allegedly. You might have heard it at the barbers. So that's as clear cut as an "is this you" that you'll ever see on Twitter. Donald Trump versus Donald Trump, Your Honour. Thank you, Herbie. We might as well have that one again. Just see where we're off to next. Got quite a bit to get through on the stream, so whizzing through a few bits and pieces. We'll get on to Bobby Villain first, yeah. Check out that vid from earlier, if you will. We'll take a look at the clip that I used in that, in case you've not seen that yet, plus this appearance at the 100 Club. Oh, sorry, not the mic there. But then we'll go on to the latest in Gaza, of course. That's what all this concerns, and as you're about to hear from Bob Villain themselves, that is the real story here, not them leading a chant that calls out a fucking genocidal army at a concert. For heaven's sakes. Right, let's get into it. Abrupt end to the song there.
Please get the word around and include in your articles, please, that I am not just a rabble-rousing troublemaker, alright? And I do, in fact, have an undergraduate degree that I finished top of my fucking class with. And received a part scholarship to go and do my master's, which I will have you know, I completed in 1 year instead of 2 years. Okay. And this is a gentleman that was unfortunately removed from school early and left with very few, if any, GCSEs. So I would just like that in writing on the fucking Daily Mail or the Telegraph, alright? Because I personally have turned my life around. And I've been able to do it, thankfully, due to the power of this band giving me something to focus my energy on. And so please, if there are any reporters here, please offer the other side of the story, okay? I educated myself, made it through university twice, and then focused my attention from dissertations to the state. And I've been fucking gunning them ever since, the bastards. This next one is wicked, this next one is bad, this next one is wicked and bad. Keep on going in the face of it all is a beautiful and inspiring thing. So as hard as this week may have been for us, it has been nothing in comparison to what the Palestinian people are going through right now. And that is where the attention should be. That is where the focus should be. That is where these politicians and media outlets should be focusing their attention right now. Not on the words or the actions of a fucking punk band. It is ridiculous. And it only speaks to the ridiculous state of this country right now.
Well said, Bobby. Very well said. Yeah, clearly undeterred, and that is what the focus should be on what the real issues are. And we've had this grim report today of an aid distribution centre being attacked. This is what Bob Villan are speaking out against. This is the real issue. Children were killed. The IDF have put it down to, quote, an error. Which is the way that the media is running with the narrative, as well, as you can see clearly from that headline there. I'll go through some more of the article in just a moment, but one thing that you'll notice that is missing from the article, and there certainly doesn't seem to be any sign of since, including the run-up to the time I came to you on the stream, but no apology. No apology from Israel if this is somewhat of an accident. No apology to the victims. No sense of sympathy or empathy whatsoever. In fact, I've got a brief but direct quote from one of their spokes just now. In fact, this is an exclusive here on My Left Eye.
Whoopsie daisy!
So that's all they've got to say, really. They hit a hospital.
Whoopsie daisy!
They've hit a school.
Whoopsie daisy!
They've hit people who are waiting for food.
Whoopsie daisy!
And now today, water, and on. It goes. We were aiming for this, I believe they used the term Islamist extremist was used on this occasion. They missed. There was an error. There was an error. So unfortunately it ploughed into a crowd of people, and it just so happens to be something of a coincidence that the military in question are currently accused of war crimes. The Defence Minister himself, former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant himself, wanted by the ICC. Benjamin Netanyahu himself wanted by the ICC. I'm sure that's just a coincidence, though, that, people who have something of a reputation for war crimes accidentally then go and hit people queuing for water, including several children.
Whoopsie daisy!
Over to the article, just a bit more now about how this is being reported. Oh dear, Butterfingers, we're all thumbs today, aren't we? Israel. 6 children were killed. Eyewitnesses said a drone fired a missile at the crowd, continuing with empty jerry cans next to a water tanker in Nal Saret refugee camp. A technical error. The IDF have said that they're aware of a claim regarding casualties in the area as a result, adding that it works to mitigate civilian harm as much as possible and regrets any harm to uninvolved civilians. I wouldn't count that as an apology. I wouldn't count that as remorseful in any sense, not even a fraction of sympathy or remorse there. Oh, bad, but no harm, no foul, I guess. We were trying to aim for this. He's really, we can't tell you exactly who he is. He was there. You gotta believe us. He was there. We fired. We missed. It's unfortunate, but these are these are the things you have to go through when you're fighting the bad people. In fact, we're the real victims in all of this. Never mind these dead kids, where, that's the way that they go on. Unbelievable. My pal Footfoot, thanks for joining us. Just in case I need mention, as predicted, these ceasefire talks have now completely broken down, as I expected to be the outcome. You can't have this going on, as well as other attacks at aid distribution centres, so-called safe zones, refugee camps, whilst the negotiations are going on, and not expect them to turn to complete and utter shit. And they do it on purpose. They can't lose their golden goose of war, because that will impede their wider genocidal plans for annexation of not just Palestine but the wider area. Of course, this has to be a perpetual thing. This is the sort of Zionist way of thinking. It's certainly what Netanyahu wants, because again, if this ends, he faces corruption charges and other things domestically. He's the one who's drummed up this deluded, maniacal plan also. And any time anybody in any debate wants to mention October 7th to you, not only, of course, is it worth mentioning that that's not when this started. You've got to go right back to 1948 and things like the Nakba that have happened since then and now, but also the fact that via Qatar, it was Netanyahu himself who funded the attacks on October 7th, 2023. So put that one in your pipe and smoke it. And anytime they mention the tunnels, again, guess who helped out with that? But according as well, they've said that there were no known injured individuals. Complete fiction, of course. They've rammed it. Oh, they've not left it to the end there. They've rammed the obligatory 2 paragraphs in the middle of the article this time. But oh, sorry, close to the end actually. But they have actually finished with some stats that do need to be highlighted. So I'm just going to turn the background music down a bit because it's a bit loud there. I feel like I'm shouting. 90% of homes in Gaza are estimated to be damaged or destroyed. Their healthcare, water, sanitation and hygiene systems have completely collapsed, and there are shortages of food, fuel, medicine and shelter. This week, for the first time in 130 days, 75,000 litres of fuel was allowed into Gaza. That's far from enough to meet the daily needs of the population and vital civilian aid operations, says the United Nations. 9 UN agencies warned on Saturday that Gaza's fuel shortage had reached critical levels, and if fuel ran out, it would affect hospitals, water systems, sanitation networks and bakeries. Hospitals are already going dark. Maternity, neonatal and intensive care units are failing and ambulances can no longer move. Just a reminder that 36 hospitals in Gaza have been destroyed and hundreds of other healthcare facilities along with it. That's not in the stats there. In fact, there is no fully functioning hospitals left whatsoever. And that's not all down to fuel shortages. We're talking about them being razed to the ground. They are not physically there anymore. You can't turn up with tankers full of fuel and everything will come back on again. So completely desperate situation. And of course, one that people have chose to protest against, one of those groups being Pal Action, who were prescribed last week by Yvette Cooper. A great infringement of rights against a non-violent direct action group. People have been speaking out against that, including here in Manchester and also in London. Uh, 70 arrests between those two protests. Cardiff as well, sorry, forgot to mention Cardiff as well. Shout out to the Welsh there, doing their bits. So 71 arrests in total on suspicion of showing support for a prescribed organisation. One person also arrested for common assaults as demonstrators gathered in the capital for the second weekend. If you've not seen my latest video, the Bob Film one, which includes a bit about this, please check it out. But I do mention that they were arrested for holding up signs, placards. Similar circumstances, we remember another, well, this is what kicked off Defend Our Juries, actually. Trudy Warner, a protest outside the Old Bailey was holding up a placard which had a phrase on it from inside the Old Bailey itself and was arrested. The quote concerned a jury's right to acquit based on the conscience. So they mention, excuse me, defend our juries in the article there, as you can see. Quite a few people who were there yesterday were friends of mine, including, if you were following the my JSO Journey Members Only videos, retired Anglican priest Mark Coleman was among their number as well. For anyone who knows, that's someone who I've been on action with quite a few times myself. A good friend of mine as well, lovely fella. Raza Hussain, KC barrister for Pal Action, their co-founder, Huda Amori, told the court that banning the group would constitute an authoritarian abuse of power, which it does. It does, really. No violence was involved in that thing. This legislation is getting increasingly dystopian, and they're snatching away the right to protest, as well as they do it in one fell swoop. It can't be overstated how worried we should be about this, because these are rights that were hard fought and won for hundreds of years. The suffragettes, for example, have been mentioned a lot in the discourse, as it were. They literally used letter bombs and literally whipped Winston Churchill up the street at the time. They were a very violent group. And now we have statues of the suffragettes, and Emmeline Pankhurst, for example, here in Manchester, just, you know, one notorious statue, and now right in front of her statue. This isn't my footage, by the way. I wasn't actually there myself, unfortunately. I couldn't make it, but I will be bringing you exclusive footage from the scenes of another protest in very short time. But check this out. The way that they storm through the crowd as well, you can see how the people at the very front get shoved out of the way as these people. I will point out as well, a lot of the arrestees are retired, elderly people. We highlighted, for example, another retired member of the clergy recently, Sue Parfitt, who's an octogenarian, now 83. But the way that we're seeing these retired peaceful protesters treated really should be a concern to anyone, whether you support what they're protesting against or not, because it all comes down to our fundamental rights at the end of the day. Let's see what's happening.
We won't be silent.
So, first of all, as someone who's obviously, you know, faced the police at protest myself, there was no warning given, there was no mediation whatsoever, or liaising or parley, shall we say, which I understand doesn't happen every time someone is getting arrested, but not when it's a non-violent protest. There's normally at least some sort of rapport between the protesters and the police initially before their arrest, but the way that they sort of storm in there, these, you know, stormtroopers, I'll rewind it to the moment where they break through that front line. As I mentioned, just pay attention to the middle of your screens as people go flying. All these wankers barge their way through. Oh my goodness. Right, hang on. I think we have another okay. Can you see the lady in the purpley one-piece suit there? I believe I know who that is. It's another, yeah, it's another moment similar to the protests in London. That is who I believe it is. I won't say the name, but just look how she gets shoved out of the way. That's the pot. Look at that. Yeah, it is who I think it is, but I won't say the name. They might be willing to come on and talk about that on a stream, or I might do an interview. I'll see. I'm 90% certain that that is who I believe it was, because I was in contact with them yesterday, knowing that they were going to be down there. And then, just back to my original point, they immediately go back. They immediately go and grab just the first people that they can see, who I should point out were anticipating this. They knew that it's a prescribed group at this point, of course. But again, they're highlighting the draconian measures that are now being used. It's very brave to see them standing up to that. Really have to be ashamed of how the police are handling this. We expect, you know, I've handled the London Met quite a bit, as you'd imagine, and both the Manchester Met Police as well. But I've never been arrested by the Met Police, actually, in all the actions that I've done. So I think this is a mark of shame. I think this is a mark of shame because normally, as I've pointed out, with the proximity to just to the top left of your screens, a short way, literally a few yards, just off camera to your left is a statue of Emmeline Pankhurst. And now look at what's happening right there. Right there. This is St. Peter's Square, by the way, for anyone who's familiar with Manchester's geography.
Now, this is about the fifth arrest. If you didn't see it earlier, the placards they're holding pretty much say, I oppose genocide, I support Palestine action, which is...
Well, that is exactly what they say. Literally. Again, this isn't my footage. I'm not aware of who the original uploader is, but hope you don't mind me using the clip if you happen to be watching. Cheesy grin. Yeah, solidarity to support the cause, of course. So as this narrator pointed out, there's that was the fifth arrest so far. There were around a dozen or so in Manchester in total.
Now, illegal under the Anti-Terrorism Act. It carries a sentence of up to 14 years in jail. As you can see here, the other activists have been trying to protect them. There's a lot of Zionist provocateurs here.
That's not nice to see, either in Manchester. I've demonstrated in support of Gaza in Manchester several times. Always a great turnout. They'll be in the minority, of course. But as the narrator again just pointed out, 14-year sentences. I'm particularly worried. And as I mentioned, again, these are people who are dear friends of mine. Perhaps face being made an example of, as it were, like we've seen with the Whole Truth 5, including JSO and XR co-founder Roger Hallam and others. recently. The Flipstout 18, is it? Sorry if I'm getting the numbers and locations wrong, but these are people who, unfortunately, the judiciary seriously come down on as an act of deterrence. But as you can see by this show of defiance here, there are those amongst us who will not be deterred.
Some pretty unpleasant people, but this is just the state things are here now. These people knew they'd be arrested. They told the police what they were going to do, and they told the police where and when they were going to do it. And this is from all my friends being put up. It's just kicked him. My friend just kicked a cop. Well done. Okay. Anyway, gives you some.
That's where the clip sort of abruptly ends. But you can see a good turnout overall, but a lot of police there. I might be able to get down to Manchester next Saturday. I'm not sure exactly what will be going on, but I do intend to get to more of these. Again, just a reminder, that wasn't an original clip, but yeah, Saturdays have been difficult in terms of providing content recently. Here's a clip that Defend Our Juries put out around the arrests in London. I had that in the last video, but if you've not seen that, I'll just play you this clip. Also, the geographical location, the irony of it comes into question. The Emmeline Pankhurst statue in the last clip. This one, Parliament Square, just right in front of where the Mahatma Gandhi statue is.
They're here risking a 14-year prison sentence because a red line has been crossed. Democracy's over. So we're here in Parliament Square, under the Mandela statue, under the Gandhi statue over there. There's over 40 brave, principled, ordinary people taking a serious risk. No one's here because it's fun. They're here risking a 14-year prison sentence because a red line has been crossed in this country. And now, if you go and sit in Parliament with a factual sign, you're going to be hauled off and risk a 14-year prison sentence. If you can't go down to Parliament Square with a simple, truthful sign and sit there, democracy's over.
Yeah, it is. And I've actually been arrested close to where this is concerned as well. Morbius, you make a great point there in the chat, just around that sentences for JSO. Very worrying about what our futures will be like. Yeah, again, this is a very personal issue for me. Those sentences concern friends of mine, and I'm completely appalled. We did know the risks, obviously, when we get into things like this, but the draconian response has perhaps surpassed even our worst expectations, and we should all be very concerned. Heady, good point as well. Welcome to Prison Island. No right to protest, only if you riot for the far right. Yeah, if this was a load of knuckle-dragging far right goons, pissed out of their faces, urinating all around the place just because they want to stop the boats, then I'm sure they'd be fine with that. But no, showing up to oppose war crimes, well, we can't have that, can we? Oh, the last part of the video, I'm not sure if the music's copyrighted on it, so I'm not gonna risk any repercussions because of that. Apologies, I've had far too many live streams that I've had to have manually reviewed lately to risk that. So Herbie, So yeah, I wasn't involved with either of those actions myself, but I'm a supporter of Defend Our Juries. Shout out to anyone who's watching, perhaps back later on, actually. Any of my comrades in Defend Our Juries. Mark Coleman, if you're watching back, I noticed you in a couple of the pictures. As for the other person who I recognised, I won't mention them by name. But I do happen to know that Mark doesn't mind being mentioned. Of course, it was the Daily Mail who tried to make him famous by, well, it was a situation where his hands were glued to the road and the police, during the action, which I was also a part of, by the way, gave him some water. Let him drink some bottled water, which was quite woke, according to the Daily Mail. Yeah, these are the sort of things you have to face from the press as well as the police when you're involved in that sort of thing. That was back in August 23, actually. That was my first JSO action. Check out the members only videos if you want to take a look at that. Just see what else I've got. Oh, there was just another quick look at some more pictures and stuff from that action. Yeah, the Twitter. That's outside Manchester City Hall. A good meme there. Imagine, if you will, a world you get a few knobends in the comments on these, I've noticed. You always get the, you know, they don't understand the difference between morals and the law, and the, well, you know, they're criminals, what do you expect? Like, you know, oh yeah, you've never broken a law in your life. Sure, they've never gone 1 mile above the speed limit or whatever. A lot of them probably done much worse, but yeah, people aren't impressed. Some of these comments are pure dumpster fire, though. I just want a quick look at that. Okay, so we're going to have Rathbone next, with a bit more of an uplifting look at how this all began, of course, way back in the 40s. Let's do check out Rathbone if you don't know of channel already.
God promised us Argentina.
No.
No, Uganda.
No.
Morocco?
Nope.
Madagascar.
We can't pull that off, actually.
I meant Tasmania.
No.
Algeria?
Nuh-uh.
The Horn of Africa.
Negative.
Nope, I meant Libya.
We looked into it, we can't do it.
Libya.
No, we can't make that happen.
Libya?
Negative.
Angola. It's not gonna happen. God promised us Palestine. Actually, Palestine might work. God definitely promised us Palestine. What happened? God promised us Cyprus.
Yeah, short but sweet. And that's pretty much the way it went down. Okay, time for another shout out to all the marvellous members on the channel. Yes, consider adding your name to this list. It's just 99 pence. That's what, going on about 80 odd cents at current rates? I don't know. US cents. Lots of exclusive stuff to check out there, especially if you are into protest vids and whatnot. Something I always keep up to speed with. Make sure you hit thumbs up on the stream as well, everybody else. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Check out some previous content, and why not give us a share around your social media whilst you're doing that. Just finally, other ways to contribute to the channel are with super chats, which are open for live viewers. Super thanks if you're watching back later on. And there's a buy me a coffee page in the channel description if you don't have access to any of those other means. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. Currently on 110 members, which I'm really pleased to say. Thank you very much, everybody. Hold your noses, people. We're gonna go back into the hot fondue lounge just one final time as we bring the live stream to a close. Stick around though, please don't close the stream just yet. I'm going to be looking for a raid, and I'm sure that this Sunday evening we could find some other socialist comrades to redirect into. Stick around, I'll be hopping over myself. But if you're watching back later on or whatever, I'll be with you throughout the week with the brews at 10, of course, and other video content through the week. Final plug just on that video I put out earlier as well. Please do check that out. I mean, I could redirect into it, but I prefer to redirect into an ongoing live stream. But we have No Justice, who we'll raid into. I didn't see Kev there. There was the Vanguard and someone else. But I think we'll stick with No Justice. Can't see any objections to that coming. Any objections, people? No time's up. Thought not. That was most democratic, of course. No Justice for the win. Okay, yeah, we'll take that as a yes. Floor snake. Oh no. Margaret. Oh no. She might have done a bit of a hodgy splodgy. Hodgy splodgy. Peter, you're going to have to get to the bucket. Get that border collie out of there. I did some investigating. The two people at the back there apparently they come from some sort of agency, should we put it, quite a niche agency, which is all I'm probably legally allowed to say. Yeah. Alright, that's just about it, people. Join me at No Justice in just a moment. Make sure you hit thumbs up and give us a shout out when we get over there. But if you're watching back later on again, of course, whatever you're up to for the rest of your day or evening, take care, solidarity, happy Socialist Sunday, and my left eye will be seeing you soon. Free Palestine, power to the people.